What up, what up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I just wanted to do like a part 2 video talking about policing in America. The last time I posted something, was long enough ago. It's crazy enough, so much has happened since even then. This is all kind of like being ignited from the fact that in this funny conversation on a Facebook group, which is like the Carney Facebook group. Anyway, someone posted today like a meme, and it was, all about just like the police, and it was like, "Dear police, I know you may not hear it through all the noise right now, but there are a lot of us that appreciate you and all your service." Of course, I have commented 2 large paragraphs on that post, and my paragraphs have received a lot of likes already. I just hate posts like this, and people are posting things like this all the time, and there was something posted last week or 2 weeks ago, and I've seen this before. It's like one of those things like, "If you're a police officer and you're tired, come knock on my door and you can take a rest. If you're thirsty, I'll give you a drink. If you need backup, call me and I'll back," and it's just like, obviously the only reason that people are posting these things is because of what's going on right now. And like the thing that was posted today about you can't hear it through the noise, but a lot of us appreciate you. Like, someone who thinking on a really complex, critical level sees that and is just like me. Like, it literally makes me want to vomit, because again, you're only posting that because of what's going on right now, which is the fact that finally, after centuries of violence against Black people at the hands of police, there is no question about that statement, what I just said. Finally, there is like enough talk about it, and it's getting enough publicity that it is a conversation everywhere. I mean, here we are, we're in 2021. Last year, George Floyd happened, and when that happened last year, it literally was the first time that I mean, I'm a white girl saying this, I can only imagine people like Black people who've been like preaching this stuff forever and seeing all this stuff forever. Like, finally it's being talked about, like even on, major networks. Things are being talked about and analyzed on a level that they've never been talked about before. The things that I say and the things that, people say that are similar to what I'm saying, and obviously I'm just learning from other people, like, these are things that people have been killed for saying throughout history. Do you know how many people have been killed for saying what saying what I'm saying right now, or just even having this conversation about cops on this level? And like, now we're in a place where it obviously is still not totally safe to have these conversations, but the fact that it's being talked about on this level like never before. And okay, so that post today, the reason it's so messed up and the reason that it made me feel called to come and to do another video, and again, even if this is just speaking to one person, and that one person may take something away from what I'm saying, and maybe one person will go speak to someone else. First of all, the fact that the post called it just noise, like the 2 big paragraphs that I responded, the first thing I said was, like, of course, like, yes, a lot of us appreciate your service, but also, is it possible to have that service without a side of murder and no accountability? Like, people are acting like people who are calling out what is going on and who are standing with Black Lives Matter. Why are you, like, this is how you can just see that police culture is such a gang, and this is a reason why police are called the first gangs in America. I mean, they say that about especially NYPD. And there's a reason, because of the fact that even having this conversation is so, like, what do you think about when you think of a gang? You think of, if you talk or having an issue with someone who's a member of the gang, you have a problem with the whole gang. That's literally what is happening with police. It is literally that. So it's like, okay, so first of all, you're saying that that because people want accountability and because we don't think that cops should be acting as a judge, as a jury, or as God by ending someone's life, no matter what acts happened before that. I don't care what they had on their record, anything like that. That killing someone should be 100% the only last thing that is done. The last thing. We are seeing, I'm like, of course I get fired up about this. No one is like, I do not stand for, and I don't believe most people do who are even, voicing their opinions like me. I do not believe in any unwarranted disrespect towards any cop, towards anybody unwarranted. But that does not mean that we can't have this conversation and we can't be like, we need a change. Like, the system is not working. And this is like what I was saying today. It's like, if someone is saying that like if you don't see that there's a change that needs to be made, you are either part of the system or you are benefiting from it. 100%. You are a cop and you don't want change because that means there's going to be more accountability and you are going to maybe have things aren't going to be as easy for you, and there's going to be like a lot more crossing the T's and dotting the I's and making sure that things are being done the right way. And you probably don't want that to happen. That might mean more work for you or more annoying things for you, or who knows, you may not be treated the same way. Or you're someone who doesn't believe that there needs to be a change because you are friends with cops and you're one of those people that has a million of those shields on your windshield. You are someone who is friends with cops, so obviously like you probably never have had that much problems with law enforcement. Again, if you're friends with the gang, they're gonna take care of you. Obviously that's why people have all those things in their windshield. People don't have all the shields and everything on their windshield just for fun. Come on. I sometimes see people and I can barely even see their face because there's so many of those on their windshield. It's like I'm covering them up. You know that's because they are doing that because it lets everybody know, including the cops, that they are friends with the gang. They are friends with the cop. And I know people are so, like, the fact that I'm even saying that it's a gang, I know people are probably like, but we have to deal in reality here. This is not just about a few bad apples. Like, anybody saying that is just like, being a cop is a dangerous job, yes. But I can name a million jobs that are just as dangerous, very, very, very dangerous, that you don't like. I mean, what other job do you know that your employer will continue to pay millions and millions of dollars every year because of misconduct that you've done? What job do you know can you have things on your record, criminal acts on your record that you have never been tried for, but you are allowed to move to another town or whatever and just continue working, and those people are not gonna what job could you go, job could I apply for right now if I had tons of stuff against my record of working in my field? If they saw that, they're never gonna, of course I could never get hired. It's just ridiculous. And the fact that we can't even talk about it, and that post today, again, going back to the original point of me talking about this, is that post today, first of all, saying that it's noise. The fact that you're calling people protesting and finally speaking up about murders at the hands of police, you're calling that noise? Just noise? Clearly nothing, just noise that you should just not even listen to? Is that what you're trying to say? Just background noise that it just should not even be taken seriously? The fact that you're posting that, and you're probably obviously someone in part of the police community, either you probably have cops all in your family or your husband's a cop or something. The fact that you're just calling it noise tells us everything, and kind of just forego it, kind of just throws out the window and or I don't even know what it highlights everything that we're talking about. You don't think that there's any sort of problem. You don't care about listening to millions and millions of people, and you're saying that that's just noise. You don't care about listening to black people and what they're talking about, and you're just calling it noise. This is why we are in such a problem, because they are put up on this pedestal, and why can't we even talk about it? That post today bothered me because it's just so simple. Of course, treat everybody with respect. Don't treat someone like, don't disrespect someone for no reason. We're talking about policing as a whole. We're not talking about hating on every single cop. But again, it just doesn't speak for anything when we can't even have a conversation about it, and people are constantly posting this stuff like bowing down and catering to cops. I don't understand. Like, again, like, I would understand if they should actually be treated like that, if they actually were out in this world doing things that earned, I feel like, respect. I'm not saying, again, I mean, even on a basic small level, I see it every single day. I drive around all the time. I see cops on their phones constantly, right up on their phones constantly. I see cops driving crazy around, even in my town. Like, those are the people who I always see, like even on me, like, sometimes I'll see they'll be driving on my ass, like they'll be on my tail, and I know it's a cop. Sometimes I'll just pull over and let them go by. Like, and then, like, obviously that's like having a cop, like, like, it's just so interesting that there's some people that, like, want to advertise that they're friends with cops, and, like, to me, like, I don't even want to associate. Like, I know that sounds horrible, but I wouldn't even want to, like, wouldn't want people to think that I'm involved in law enforcement right now. It's like, I don't even, like, yeah, it's just so interesting, like, clearly how people think so differently about cops, and it's because we're in two different worlds. The people who are in the cop culture, who are benefiting from it, who don't want change, and the people who are demanding change. And, like, that post today, just saying that it was noise. I mean, of course, like, there were people in Kearney who commented being like, noise? Question mark? Like, what a slap in the face. And, like the post about, you know, the cop thing about like if you need help or if you're tired, this and that. Why are we treating, like, post that about, like, sanitation workers and fucking delivery people, and post that about nurses and whoever. Like, I'm not, and again, like, okay, sure, cops too, but, like, again, you're only posting this stuff because of what is going on right now, and it just speaks so highly to the whole culture because, like, justice is being served and, like, people are trying to finally end, like, you know, qualified immunity to people being, like, we are actually trying to uphold the law more than anything, and yet the right-wing side, that's mostly what it is, and all are trying to highlight it as if we don't believe in law and order, and we are just crazy, and we want it to be like the wild, wild west. And it's like, no, actually, we're trying to hold the people more accountable. We're actually more about law and order, because we want to hold the cops, and, like, we want this country to be safer for everybody, including cops. But right now, Republicans, whew, I mean, you can't not see the fact that who are the racist groups in this country, even groups that have been classified as terrorist groups, the white supremacist groups, the white nationalist groups, the Proud Boys, all those groups, Nazis and all this stuff. Like, who do they want in office? Who do they normally vote for? Republicans. Who did they love so much and who they are literally obsessed with? It's like a cult. Like, I literally yesterday was driving through the woods in Jersey, and of course I see people with, like, these massive displays for Trump still up. First of all, just, like, on a different little side thing, what other president have you ever seen people have that much shit? Like, it's one thing to have a sign, and it's one thing for it to be, like, once in a great while you see someone who's, like, clearly just, like, radical crazy and they just have tons of shit for a president. But let's think of all the previous presidents and everybody else, and even candidates. Like, have you ever seen a candidate that people have, like, on the regular, like, I've seen it so much in so many different states, that they're decked out with, like, the biggest, most crazy displays for Trump. And it's just so hilarious, because they're also were the ones that he would constantly say they're the silent majority, which is, like, was so kind of ironic, because if it's so silent and he's so great and you are think so, why do you have to have so much shit all over your lawn and like have so much shit? Like, how much money did you even spend on that stuff? Like, so ridiculous. Like, he clearly just, he wants you to spend all that money. You helped pay for his fucking legal fees after the election too, because you bought all that shit. But anyways, they all like him because of all the racist shit he was saying. People in this country is rooted in racism, and it's very much still here. And so again, like, okay, so they wanted Trump. The majority of cops in this country are Republicans and voted for Trump. We just found out that like so many, like thousands of cops across the country donated money to Kyle Rittenhouse's like GoFundMe or whatever. You know, he literally killed 2 people and had a gun illegally, walked past cops, and they didn't say shit to him or even care. And there are cops in this country that have donated so much donated money, thousands, and we're here still talking about a few bad apples. People who think like, I mean, how can you not see the parallels and like the craziness that this is all like? So again, Republicans, and the reason that a lot of law enforcement support Trump is because, and for people like Trump and right-wing people, is because they're the people that are gonna always support them and always have their back, and pretty much again allowing the system to continue the way it's continuing. They don't see any problem killing these black people, especially like if they're black people with some things on their record. Like, look how people talk about every single one of these situations. Look how everybody talked about Floyd, like how much of like making it seem like he was like literally like the most horrible person in the world, and that he deserved to die, and that those cops didn't do anything wrong, that Chauvin didn't do anything wrong. Like, it's literally like everything is just so crazy. Like, and that's why they like, because these are the people that continue to allow them to continue the way we're doing, continue with the status quo of how we treat cops in America and how we allow things to go. No, let's not ever like try to move forward or change. And what sucks is that like if you're someone who is in, like, I wish we saw a lot more cops. And I mean, we have seen some, and if I see them, I like will post stuff. Cops or people who are in the cop culture who are speaking up and analyzing it on this level and can actually like again, like I've said before in my previous video, if you are a good cop, you have to be a part of the change. We need you. We need you. We want this country to be safer for everybody, including cops. And we are seeing that what is going on is not working. So we need to be figuring out something else, which is not in continuing to invest in a system that is not working. We need to defund that system and invest in other things that are going to help the community as a whole be safer and better. Like the situation with the you know, like, and it's been such a like, that's like the woman the girl the other day, the 16-year-old like in Ohio, who got shot, and she had, you know, a knife in her hand, and there was a whole situation that she was a foster child and she was having issues with these 2 or people from her foster home, and they were fighting and whatever. And it's like, do you know how many social workers have to, and like people who deal with kids, people with knives, and like anybody who deals with like, you know, deals with psychiatric things. I mean, do you know how much stuff that they've had to break up and resolve just by using communication and other methods without having to shoot people? Like, clearly there was a situation going on. That shouldn't be your first act. Like, why didn't you use your taser? Like, she was clearly like having an issue, and she called you for help. She called you to help her. And whether or not, like, again, we don't know, there's so much to the story and so much to the situation, but we are seeing continuous situations with mass murderers being walked out without a bruise on them after killing children and tons of people. Why can't we, like, why is shooting the first instinct in a lot of these situations? Like, that just shows that we need more training. This is something that cannot be your first instinct. If social workers just killed a kid because they were friggin' fighting with someone with a knife, They just killed every single time that happened? You think that'd be okay? No, we would never let that happen. That wouldn't happen. So like, I just feel like, God, there's been so much going on, and it's just been like, oh God, I feel like I'm constantly having conversations about it, and I feel I have to, like, I feel like I can't just like keep my mouth shut when I see things. Like, I have to say something, again, whether it be just to show support for people who feel the same way I do, who feel like we're in this crazy society sometimes that we're just like like, why are cops like treated like, or why are can't we just have a conversation, and why can't cops just stop killing people, and like why can't you recognize that this is for real and this is valid and it's not just noise? And like, how big of a slap in the face it is that you just say that. Like, this is one big vent. This is my part 2 of policing in America. There will probably be many, many parts, and I know that sometimes I'm all over the place because it's just, obviously there's so many emotions. But anyways, thank you for watching. Thanks for listening to me rant again, and you know, take care. Thank you so much.